to Minnesota, to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Well, I want to thank Chris and Wayne. I'm thrilled to be here in Indiana with the men and women of the NRA. You are great American patriots. Chris Cox, Wayne LaPierre, Oliver North. I've been following Oliver for a long time. Great guy. 3 extraordinary champions for the Second Amendment. And I'm a champion for the Second Amendment, and so are you. It's not going anywhere. It's under assault. It's under assault, but not when we're here, not even close. I also want to thank our tremendous Vice President and Indiana's native son, Mike Pence, has done a fantastic job. And we're grateful to be joined by a number of terrific leaders from the Hoosier State. Governor Eric Holcomb. Where is Eric? You can't miss Eric, he's so big. Thank you, Eric. Senator Todd Young, terrific guy. Thank you, Todd. Senator Mike Braun, what a job he's doing. And Representative Greg Pence, his familiar name. Thank you, Greg. Jackie Walorski. Jackie, thank you. Jim Baird and Jim Banks, great representatives. Thank you all very much. Tremendous help, tremendous. I also want to recognize Secretary of the Interior, David Bernhardt. What a job he's been doing. David, thank you. Thank you. A great friend of mine, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. Thank you, Matt. And the House GOP whip, a man with more courage than most of us here today. He took some very, very severe shots, you know that. And he is Steve Scalise. A lot of courage. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. And most importantly, I want to thank all of you, the proud card-carrying members of the NRA. Every day you stand up for our God-given rights without exception, without fail, and without apology. Together we are fighting for the timeless values that have built and sustained our nation. And our nation is greater today than it has ever been. Stronger, richer, we're doing better than ever before. We are great Americans. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you. We believe in the rule of law, and we will always protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And there are some people that are running right now. I don't think they have that #1 on their list. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we believe in the right to self-defense and the right to protect your family, your community, and your loved ones. We believe in the wisdom of our founders, and we believe in freedom and liberty and the right to keep and bear arms. We know that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the center of American life. And above all else, we know this. In America, we don't worship government, we worship God. Every day of my administration, we are taking power out of Washington, D.C., and returning it to the American people where it belongs. And you see it now better than ever with all of the resignations of bad apples. They're bad apples. They tried for a coup. Didn't work out so well. And I didn't need a gun for that one, did I? All was taking place at the highest levels in Washington, D.C. You've been watching, you've been seeing, you've been looking at things that you wouldn't have believed possible in our country. Corruption at the highest level, a disgrace. Spying, surveillance, trying for an overthrow, and we caught him. We caught him. Who would have thought in our country? But it's called what we all together have done. Started 2.5 years ago on that great November 8th. That was a great day. Remember that day? Great day. And in 1.5 years, we have one called November 3rd. It's November 3rd this time. Get ready to vote. You better. You better get ready to vote. But it's all called draining the swamp, and we are doing it faster than anyone ever thought possible. Very proud of it. And around the world, America is respected again because we are finally putting America first. Been a long time. Our economy is now the hottest anywhere on the planet Earth. Just this morning, we learned that the GDP smashed expectations, with the economy growing at an annual rate of 3.2% in the first quarter, always the worst quarter for whatever reason. 3.2. And if we kept the same interest rates and the same quantitative easing that the previous administration had, that 3.2 would have been much higher than that. But they hadn't hit these numbers in 16 years. We had a tremendous increase in inventory investment. You know what that means? And listen to this, a very big increase in net exports. Isn't it about time? Isn't that nice? We've added almost 6 million jobs since my election. And if I would have said that during the campaign, all of those people back there, we call them the fake news, they wouldn't have believed it. They're fake. They're fake. Blue-collar jobs recently grew at the fastest rate in more than 3 decades. Nearly 5 million Americans have been lifted off of food stamps since our election. Wages are rising fast, and the lowest paid workers are making the biggest percentage gains of all, and that's nice to hear. It's about time. Unemployment recently achieved its lowest rate in 51 years, and very shortly, it should be its lowest rate in the history of our country. African American, Asian American, Hispanic American have reached the lowest levels of unemployment in our history. America's future has never been brighter, and yet Democrats have never been angrier, especially now that their collusion delusion has been exposed to the world as a complete and total fraud. It's been the greatest political hoax ever in our country. Instead of working with us to rebuild our infrastructure, lower drug prices, which, by the way, this year, for the first time in 50 years, drug prices went down. They're going to go down a lot lower. And instead of working with us to fix our trade deals, which I'm doing without them, and continue creating millions and millions of new jobs, which we're doing at a level that people have not seen before, that people don't even believe. Democrats are obsessed with hoaxes, delusions, and witch hunts. That's what they're obsessed with. That's what they want to do. And we can play the game just as well or better than they do. Far-left radicals in Congress want to take away your voice, your jobs, your rights, and they especially want to take away your guns. You know that. They want to take away your guns. You better get out there and vote. You better get out there and vote. It seems like it's a long ways away. It's not. I was saying to Melania, our great First Lady, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Melania. I remember standing 2.5 years ago in the same hallway where Abraham Lincoln and so many others have stood. My first night in the White House. And I said to Melania, I said, this is incredible. And 4 years seemed so long away. And now here we are. We're getting ready to start up the campaign again. Start up the campaign again. I never want to do anything with MAGA because MAGA country and MAGA, Make America Great Again, has been great. But we've really made it great. We've made it great. We brought it back. And we're thinking about slogan, Keep America Great, because you have socialists and far-left Democrats that want to destroy everything that we've done. Your 401ks are going through the roof. Your stock market since the election has hit a record high. Almost 100 different records I've broken. Record high. But everyone's like a genius now. They buy stock and they're all up. Everybody's benefiting and jobs are benefiting. But it can all be taken away when you start putting the wrong people in office. We've cut regulations more than any president in the history of our country. And that's in 2 years. In 2 years, we did more to regulation. Think of that, than any president in the history of our country. It's one of the reasons our jobs are booming, one of the reasons the economy is booming. We gave you the largest tax cut in the history of our country, the biggest ever. And we got NRA approved. And we got the individual mandate, the absolute worst part of Obamacare, eliminated. Now we're going for the rest. And we had it done except for one vote. You know what I'm talking about. One vote. In recent days, leading Democrats have proposed banning new guns and confiscating existing guns from law-abiding citizens. What they don't tell you is the bad guys aren't giving up their guns. And you're not going to be giving up your guns either. At the same time, House Democrats recently voted against notifying ICE, these brave, great, talented, brilliant patriots, when an illegal alien attempts to buy a gun, which is a felony. Democrats also support sanctuary cities that release thousands of dangerous criminal aliens onto our streets. In fact, they like the criminal aliens and aliens so much that when we're forced to release them into our country because of the horrible immigration laws that the Democrats refuse to give us the votes, we need some of their votes to change, we give them as many as they can handle. And they're not too happy about it, folks. They're not too happy. They said, who came up with that idea? They said only Trump could come up with that idea. We give them as many as they can handle. In other words, Democrats want to disarm law-abiding Americans while allowing criminal aliens to operate with impunity. But that will never happen as long as I'm your president, not even close. I promise to defend the Second Amendment rights of every American, and I always will. I'll never let you down. Never let you down. Have it so far, and I won't. Because as the famous saying goes, when guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns. Very simple. The Democrats are also working hard to block the wall. But we are building the wall. They're not happy about it. And we will have over 400 miles of wall built by the end of next year. Building a lot of wall. I want to thank Border Patrol. I want to thank our great military. I want to thank the Army Corps of Engineers. They've been incredible. And we are doing something that I could do very quickly, and we're doing it very quickly. But dealing with these people is very, very difficult if you haven't noticed, okay? Any politician would have given up a long time ago. So we'll have over 400 miles of wall built by the end of next year. It's going up rapidly. Rapidly. We're also renovating tremendous stretches of wall. We have wall that's in bad shape, but it's structurally sound. And rather than building new, we renovate it. We make it as good as new, save a lot of money, and we gain a lot of territory. So we have a lot of great things going. A lot of great things going. Most importantly, Democrats must change our immigration laws right now. Right now. We can do it in, I used to say 45 minutes, we can do it in 15 minutes. It's very simple. You know the programs, they're horrible. The asylum, where rough, tough MS-13 gang members come in. You don't want to meet with these people, but ICE doesn't mind, because ICE is throwing them out of our country by the thousands. And the Democrats want to eliminate ICE. Can you believe that? Boy, oh boy. But it's incredible what they've done. It's incredible what we've done. But they stand there, asylum, and they read a statement. I am afraid for my life. I am afraid to go back to my country. I want to be an American. And you look and you see a toughness that you don't see. And you just see what happens with the mayor of Tijuana and others. They say, these people, we try and help them, and they start hitting us. They start punching us. We don't want them in our country, and they're not getting into our country. And when they have in the past, a lot of them have come in, we're throwing them the hell out. They're out. We're getting them out. But we can fix the problem so easy. And when we fix the problem, the wall is one thing, and that will have an incredible impact. But they won't even be coming up if we change our old, broken, ridiculous, weak immigration laws. They won't even be coming up. They won't make the journey. The wall is still good to have. We need the wall. But all of those people you see coming up, thousands and thousands of people, they won't be coming because they're going to say there's no way we can get into the United States anymore except by going through legal channels. And what we want is we want people. We need them for all of the great companies that are coming in. But people have to come in to our country legally and through merit. Through merit. One of the gravest threats to the Second Amendment and to American freedom itself are activist judges. You see it every day. Every day. They almost always file in a certain little jurisdiction. I won't tell you what it is, but you all know. Every time we get sued on the ban, which we ended up winning, you know, we have the ban. We lost in the Ninth Circuit. We shouldn't have. We lost in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which we shouldn't have. And we won at the United States Supreme Court. So we have the ban, travel ban. But the reporters, the other day, some reporter said, Donald Trump, who lost the travel ban? I didn't lose it. Well, what he meant, I lost it in the Ninth Circuit. But he didn't say, we won at the United States Supreme Court. So everyone said, oh, that's too bad, he lost the travel. No, no, we won the travel ban in the United States Supreme Court. But they don't say that. So when we confront them, they said, no, we were referring to the lower courts. I said, what about the upper court? They ruled, it's done. Well, we weren't talking about the Supreme Court. We were saying you lost it. These are very, very dishonest people, okay? Nobody gets it. Why? They're opposed to strong military. They're opposed to all of the things we've done, including making our nation wealthy, including high GDPs, including all of the security and all of the law enforcement, all of the things we're doing. It's incredible. Nobody understands it. Someday we're going to figure it out, and I'll feel much better about it. But why are they opposed to things that truly make our country great? Why? Nobody gets it. I don't get it. The level of dishonesty and corruption in the media is unbelievable. But we're stuck with activist judges who seek to rewrite our Constitution to force their own radical views onto our country. That is why my administration has led a historic effort to confirm fair and impartial and mostly conservative judges who will interpret the Constitution as written. And I'm very proud to announce that we will soon have 145 federal judges confirmed, a record number including 2 great Supreme Court judges. Justice Gorsuch, Justice Kavanaugh, 2 fantastic justices. In fact, next week, we will confirm our 100th federal judge. Nobody knows what that means. The percentage is incredible. Nobody knows what that means. And in the end, I expect to have the second highest percentage of judges confirmed in the history of the United States, more than any other president, except one. I'll never beat this one. Percentage of judges approved. You know who the one is? Take a guess. George Washington. He gets 100%. Now, he had 100%. He named every one of them. But you know what? We'll have more of them. George Washington. But we're also defending free speech on our college campuses. Last month, I signed an executive order requiring public colleges and universities to respect the First Amendment rights of their students or risk losing tens of billions of dollars in federal funding. You don't want to hear another voice. You don't get all of this tremendous amount, in some cases, ridiculous amounts of dollars. And we have shut down the previous administration's massive abuse of power, known as Operation Choke Point. Under this ill-advised program, government bureaucrats discouraged banks from making loans to gun retailers, a backdoor attack on private gun ownership that will never be allowed to happen on my watch. That's step 1, folks. Step 1. You know what step 2, 3, and 4 is? Step 4 is you don't have guns. You don't have any way to protect yourself. Today, I'm proud to announce another historic step to protect your Second Amendment rights. And I didn't tell Chris and Wayne and Oliver, I didn't even tell them about it. So they're listening in this big room someplace in a second. I wonder what he's going to do. The good thing with me, you never know. Never know. That's why we're making trade deals that are so good for our country. So in the last administration, President Obama signed the UN Arms Trade Treaty. And in his waning days in office, he sent the treaty to the Senate to begin the ratification process. This treaty threatened your subjugate, and you know exactly what's going on here, your rights and your constitutional and international rules and restrictions and regulations. Under my administration, we will never surrender American sovereignty to anyone. We will never allow foreign bureaucrats to trample on your Second Amendment freedom. And that is why my administration will never ratify the UN Arms Trade Treaty. I hope you're happy. I'm impressed. I didn't think too many of you would really know what it is. You know what it is? A big factor. But I see a couple of very happy faces from the NRA over there. And I am officially announcing today that the United States will be revoking the effect of America's signature from this badly misguided treatment. We're taking our signature back. The United Nations will soon receive a formal notice that America is rejecting this treaty. As part of this decision, I will sign right now, in front of a lot of witnesses, a lot of witnesses, a message asking the Senate to discontinue the treaty ratification process and to return the now rejected treaty right back to me in the Oval Office, where I will dispose of it. By taking these actions, we are reaffirming that American liberty is sacred and that American citizens live by American laws, not the laws of foreign countries. Thank you. They all want the pen. Can you believe these people? Should I give it to them? Famous pen. As we protect gun rights for law-abiding citizens, we are also getting guns out of the hands of violent criminals. When I took office 2 years ago, one of my highest priorities was to reduce violent crime. In the 2 years before my inauguration, the murder rate had increased by more than 20%, and the United States had experienced the largest increase in violent crime in over 25 years. For this reason, my administration resurrected Project Safe Neighborhoods, bringing together prosecutors, police, sheriffs, and citizens groups to put the most dangerous offenders behind bars. We funded 200 new violent crime prosecutors. We charged a record number of criminal offenders. And last year, we prosecuted the most violent criminals ever in our history. And now, violent crime is way down. Murders in America's largest cities dropped by 6% between 2017 and 2018, but I do have to ask you, what the hell is going on in Chicago? What is going on? We could solve that problem, we would have been down even a lot more, and it's not a tough problem to solve. You got to let law enforcement do what they have to do. They'll solve the problem very quickly, very quickly. We don't think enough about the victims. They're too worried about the people that caused the crime. It's got to stop. That thought process is no good. The number of police officers shot and killed in the line of duty last year, I'm so happy to report, is down 21% compared to the year before, and that was the year before I took office. One of the reasons is that we are supplying police with surplus military equipment, supplies, and gears that the previous administration refused to give up. This is surplus. This is extra. We don't need it. Great equipment sitting in warehouses all over the country. Billions of dollars of equipment that the military no longer needs or wants or uses, but the top of the line. Some of it's never been used, brand new. From vehicles to essentially supplies of all kinds, including bulletproof vests. And rather than having it sit and draw dust, I had it distributed all over the country to our police departments. And that's why you see these numbers. It's a great thing. You know, a lot of being president is common sense, right? Don't you think, right? It's common sense. Have a good heart, but it's common sense. In this administration, we will always stand with the heroes of law enforcement. They're heroes. They're brave. They're great. And they will tell you they haven't felt so proud of themselves for many years because they were abandoned by Washington. They were abandoned by our politicians. And not just the Obama administration. Before that, they felt abandoned. Well, they know that I love them, and we're going to protect them just like they protect us. Incredible people, great people. We've also taken critical steps to improve school safety. More than 30 states now allow teachers that are highly trained, talented people, to carry guns in the classroom to protect themselves and to protect their students who they love. Who's better? Who's better? I've been calling for that for the last 2 years, and I think we had a big impact. Some legislation's passed, and they don't have that few paragraphs. And the legislators actually go back to governors and say, we're not passing it unless you allow that to happen. So we've come a long way. But who's better to protect our students than the teachers that love them? Through Stop School Violence grants, we are helping local schools and police departments to hire more officers, train more teachers, and address early warning signs of mental illness. Every day, citizens across America exercise their constitutional right to defend themselves, their families, and their communities. That's a constitutional right. They want to take it away from you. They will take it away. You let these maniacs get into office, they will take that right away. I mean, you see what's going on. Let the Boston bomber vote. He should be voting, right? I don't think so. Let terrorists that are in prison vote. I don't think so. Can you believe it? But this is where some of these people are coming from. And they're the most popular ones. When Bernie Sanders made certain statements the other day, I said, well, that's the end of his campaign. Then what happened is everybody agreed with him. Or most of them. We know that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Now, I wanted to be a little bit more original than to use a phrase that you probably heard 1,000 times. But what's a better phrase than that? We can't do better. How simple is that? Today, I want to give a few of these